Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to try to unpack something pretty complicated today. How the YouTube algorithm works in 2025. You guys sent in some really, really fascinating stuff. We've got a promo for some kind of finance podcast and what looks like, I don't know, a transcript. Maybe somebody was prepping for a meeting about YouTube.
Hmm.
So let's jump in and see what we can figure out about this algorithm, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people, think about the algorithm like it's this like big mysterious thing, right?
Yeah.
Decides which videos do well, which ones get buried. But, I think a better way to think about it is like this giant matching system. Like it's constantly trying to pair the right viewers with the right content.
Right. So it's less about like pushing certain videos and more about making sure that each video finds the audience that's going to find it valuable.
Exactly.
But how does it do that? I mean, with millions of videos going up every day, is it really tracking every single click and comment?
Well, it certainly pays attention to your behavior, your watch time, clicks, likes, dislikes, all that. But it goes beyond just those basic metrics.
Okay.
Um, For example, YouTube's been using surveys more and more, trying to get feedback directly from viewers. Like, how satisfied were you with that video?
Interesting.
And all that data that gets fed back into the algorithm to make those recommendations even more accurate.
So it's really building this taste profile for every single viewer, not just what they watch, but how they feel about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But when YouTubers talk about the algorithm, it's like this one big thing.
Right.
Is it really that simple, or is it more complicated?
Oh, it's way more complicated. The algorithm isn't just one thing. It's like a whole bunch of different algorithms all working together. Each one has its own purpose. So like the algorithm that controls what you see on your homepage, that's different from the one for your subscriptions tab.
Ah, okay.
Different from the one for the Explore page. They all use different factors to try and find the most relevant content.
So when creators are trying to optimize for the algorithm, they're actually trying to optimize for multiple algorithms.
Yeah, and that's where it gets really tricky. Like the Home tab, that's more about recommending videos from channels you're already subscribed to, topics you've already shown you're interested in.
Makes sense.
The Explore page, that's all about helping you discover new stuff, things you might not even know you like yet.
So YouTube's trying to balance, like, giving you what you already know you want, and then also introducing you to new stuff that you might end up loving.
Exactly, yeah. Trying to strike that perfect balance. It's a tough job.
Yeah, I bet. Now, I've heard people talk about how context matters too, right? Like what time of day it is and what device I'm using.
Oh yeah, context is huge. The algorithm looks at a ton of different contextual information to personalize those recommendations.
Like what?
I mean, think about it. You're probably going to get different recommendations on your TV late at night versus what you see on your phone on your morning commute.
Right, it's true. Yeah.
Plus, it learns from your past viewing behavior, so if you always watch certain types of videos at a certain time, it's going to pick up on that.
So it's not just about what I watch, but when and how I watch it.
Exactly.
It's getting really, really personal. It's almost like having a friend who knows your viewing habits so well, they can put together the perfect playlist just for you.
It's a great way to think about it.
So speaking of personalization, let's talk about something I keep hearing about. Large language models, LLMs.
Ah, yes, LLMs.
These are the things powering those chatbots, right? Like Gemini and ChatGPT.
That's right.
But what are they doing in the YouTube algorithm?
Well, they're being used to make the recommendations even smarter, even more personalized. You see, traditional algorithms, they rely on keywords and tags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But LLMs can actually analyze the video itself, like understand what's being said, the emotions, the style, even the overall message. It's a whole other level.
So it's almost like the algorithm's becoming more human in a way, being able to pick up on things that a traditional algorithm never could.
That's a really interesting way to put it, and it opens up some incredible possibilities. One of the documents you sent over actually had a really good analogy. It said that a traditional algorithm, it's like a cook following a recipe step by step.
Okay.
But an LLM, that's like a master chef who can look at a bunch of ingredients and just know how to create something amazing. So in terms of YouTube, this means LLMs can make connections that would have been impossible before, suggest videos that might seem totally unrelated on the surface, but actually have a deeper connection that's going to resonate with a viewer.
So it's not just about matching keywords anymore. It's about understanding the content and the viewer on a deeper level.
Exactly. And that's leading to a much more nuanced, personalized experience for everyone.
Oh, but that does us some interesting questions for creators, right? I mean, if the algorithm is getting smarter, how do they keep up?
That's a great question, and one we should definitely explore further. But first, let's take a closer look at how LLMs are actually impacting those recommendations right now. and what it means for all of us as viewers.
So we're talking about these LLMs and how powerful they are, changing the whole YouTube algorithm. I'm curious, what can creators actually do, like can make sure their content is being surfaced correctly with all this deep analysis going on?
Yeah, that's a big question for a lot of creators right now. I mean, we don't know exactly how these LLMs are being weighted in the algorithm,
Right.
but I think it's safe to say that creating, really high quality content, stuff that's engaging, it's probably more important now than ever.
Okay.
Remember these LLMs, they can actually tell if a video is, emotionally engaging or if the information is presented well.
So does that mean that like clickbait titles and like flashy thumbnails, they're not going to work anymore?
Well, they might still get people to click, at least initially.
Right.
But if the content itself isn't good, if people click away quickly, the algorithm's going to notice that,
Makes sense.
especially with these LLMs. And it might end up showing that video to fewer people.
Right, because it's not just about getting the click, it's about keeping people watching, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like those surveys we talked about, it's all about satisfaction now, not just engagement.
That makes sense. So what else is changing? I mean, the transcript mentioned something about series playlists.
Ah, yeah, series playlist. That's kind of a new concept.
I don't think I've heard of that before.
Basically, creators are counting related videos together,
Okay.
almost like a series or even like a mini course. It's a way to kind of guide people through a specific topic, encourage them to watch multiple videos, stay on the channel longer.
So instead of just hoping that people, stumble across related videos, they're actually taking control and curating that viewing experience.
Exactly. And I think this is perfect for what's happening with the algorithm and LLMs. Because as LLMs get better at understanding how videos relate to each other, they can start recommending entire series playlists to people.
So it's like YouTube is becoming less about just random videos and more about structured learning and entertainment.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. And it gives creators a lot of really cool options. Like imagine you create a playlist that teaches people a new skill, like coding or photography.
Right.
As they go through that playlist, the algorithm could start recommending like articles or podcasts from other places. It becomes this whole learning experience.
Yeah. So YouTube could actually become a hub for personalized learning, like guiding people through this whole journey of knowledge.
It's pretty exciting, right? It really shows how YouTube is becoming more than just a place to watch videos. It's this whole ecosystem for content and experiences.
It is. Now, the transcript also mentioned something about multilingual content, too. Like creators who dub their videos into other languages are doing really well.
Yeah, definitely. The algorithm is getting really good at understanding and recommending dubbed content now.
But how does it do that?
Well, remember how LLMs can analyze audio? They can actually figure out what language is being spoken, maybe even how good the dubbing is.
Wow. So it's not just about translating titles and descriptions anymore. The algorithm actually understands the language in the video itself.
It seems that way. And that means creators have a huge opportunity to reach people all over the world.
Yeah, it's like opening up your content to a whole new audience.
Exactly.
But I mean, dubbing 80% of your content, that seems like a lot of work, right?
It's definitely an investment, yeah.
Yeah.
But the payoffs can be huge. The document you sent mentioned that some creators have seen like massive growth just from dubbing their content.
So for anyone who's really serious about growing their channel, multilingual content, it's not just a nice bonus anymore. It's almost essential.
I think you're right. Yeah, it really shows how YouTube is becoming more and more global, connecting people with content from everywhere.
And this global connected future, it seems like virtual and augmented reality are going to be a big part of that too. I know it's still early, but the transcript talked about how YouTube might integrate with VR and AR.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Like, imagine watching a travel vlog in VR, actually feeling like you're walking down the street in a different country, or going to a virtual concert, being surrounded by the crowd.
That would be incredible.
Right? It's like YouTube is breaking down the wall between the digital world and the real world.
It is, and it makes me think about how much YouTube is changing overall. Creators have to think about LLMs, series playlists, multilingual content, VR, AR.
It is a lot, yeah.
It can feel kind of overwhelming.
It's true, the whole landscape is changing so fast. But I think that's also exciting.
Yeah.
Change means opportunity. If creators stay on top of these changes, adapt their strategies, they can not only survive, but thrive in this new era of YouTube.
I love that. It's not about being scared of the changes. It's about embracing them, seeing them as a chance to do something new and exciting.
Exactly. That's where the real magic happens. When you combine creativity and passion with a real understanding of how things are working, That's when you can create something truly amazing.
Yeah, it's like this perfect storm of technology and creativity shaping the future of online video.
And that future is happening right now. But before we get too carried away, speculating about the future, let's take a step back. Think about what we've actually learned from this transcript.
Yeah, good idea. We've covered a lot. It's probably a good idea to take stock before we get into the final part of our deep dive. All right, so we spent the first two parts of this deep dive really like getting into the weeds of the YouTube algorithm, especially with those LLMs. That's a lot for creators to think about.
Yeah.
But what about viewers? Like, what does all this actually mean for the average person watching YouTube?
Well, it might seem like all this is happening behind the scenes, right? Like viewers don't have this control over it, but that's not really true.
Oh,
I think viewers actually have more power than ever to shape their YouTube experience.
okay. How so? I mean, we're not the ones writing the code.
Think about it this way. Every time you watch a video, click on a recommendation, fill out one of those surveys, you're giving the algorithm feedback. You're telling it what you like, what you don't, what you're interested in.
Right.
And with LLMs getting better at understanding all the nuances, even small things like pausing a video or rewinding a certain part, that can give it valuable data.
So it's like this constant conversation. Like the more I use YouTube, the better it understands me, the better my recommendations get.
Exactly. It's a feedback loop. And that's becoming even more important as YouTube moves beyond just suggesting individual videos, like those series playlists we talked about. It can actually use your feedback to guide you through a whole sequence of videos, not just stuff that's relevant to your interests, but stuff that builds on each other.
It's like having a personal tutor guiding you through all the chaos of YouTube.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about finding new videos. This personalized approach could change other things too. Like imagine the algorithm adjusting the playback speed or the video quality based on how you usually watch.
Okay.
Like if you always watch educational videos at 1.5 speed, it could automatically start doing that for you.
That would be so convenient. It's like it's reading my mind.
And then as VR and AR get more popular, we could see even more immersive ways to experience YouTube. Imagine watching a travel vlog and feeling like you're actually there, or going to a virtual concert, feeling the energy of the crowd.
That would be insane. The line between like the digital world and the real world is getting blurry.
It is. And creators are already starting to do really cool stuff with interactive videos, 360 videos, even VR experiences.
It's a wild time to be on YouTube, both as a viewer and a creator. It feels like anything is possible.
I totally agree. And that's what makes these deep dives so interesting. It's not just about the technical stuff. It's about thinking about what all this means. What's the future going to look like?
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want people to take away from all this?
I think the biggest thing is to remember that the algorithm is always changing. It's getting more personalized, more intelligent, more focused on making viewers happy. But it's not changing on its own. It's being shaped by all of us.
So, everyone listening, keep exploring, keep learning, keep letting YouTube know what you think.
Yeah, your feedback matters. The future of YouTube, it's something we're all creating together.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the YouTube algorithm. We'll see you next time.